Keith, great to see you. Tell us a little bit about Linquina to start with.
Yeah, well, so Linkia is a big influence marketing agency. So there's probably, I don't know how many big ones are in the US, but we focus on large enterprise brands, kind of doing end to end. So strategy, execution, measurement. And so that's Linkia's core focus. And then I run the strategy and marketing side of Linkia. So I spend most of my time with big brands trying to figure out how influencer fits in the broader marketing ecosystem and how they do it more strategically than they're doing it today.
Yeah, great. So we're going to have a little chat about creator ads as much as anything else, and the importance and value of not just online, but realizing that it has a almost omni-channel impact, really, doesn't it? Now brands can't just rely on this as just the creator activation. They realize actually we've got to be seen by, we're now in the attention economy, aren't we, Keith? Really, of course all the platforms are giving all of their algorithm links to pay to play, aren't they?
I mean, I feel like it's funny, 5-6 years ago, and people who are in this industry know, you would sit with brands and tell them why influencers are a good channel to invest in. And I think we're way past that. Now it's how much and how should they do it. But along that way, you had all of the TikTok reps and the Meta reps kind of yelling at brands saying, you need to use creator content in your ads. It's going to perform significantly better if you use that content in the ads, not your TV commercials, your ad homes. Like, use your creator content. So if anything, they helped progress that mentality a lot over the last few years. And what we've noticed in the last 18 to 24 months, is now brands are understanding it's not even just a social construct. I think from a media perspective, they said, okay, I work with creators post. Then we hit the era of, we should use this content in our paid social ads. This is really good performing content. And I think we've now hit the era of, wait a minute, we should also use this content in our CTV buys and our OLV buys and our digital out of home buys and our programmatic display buys, because frankly, people just want to see other people talking in a more relatable way than high production brand content. So we've entered this new world where creator content everywhere is kind of our mentality, and helping brands prove that.
Yeah, well, I think it's because we want relatable content. We want to see ourselves in there. And I think these over-curated big advertising commercials that we've seen, perhaps still have a place. But actually, they're not getting the same, because we're not watching TV in the same numbers that we once were. There's more people on social than ever before. And,
totally.
And also the attention span is less. We might sit and watch a documentary or drama and have an ad pop up there, but online, the attention span is so much shorter, isn't it? So
yeah,
we want to see much more relatable content. And I guess if it's working, why would why would brands not want to put more money behind it?
Totally.
So I think one of the things I'm keen to find out from you, though, is that more and more of them aren't just relying on traditional online ads. They're actually thinking, well, if this works here, can we look at it at other channels as well? Which might include even out of home and taxi media and everything else. Love to know what sort of experience you've had with that.
It's funny, the beginning of this year, because we have this conversation with every brand, if you need to think beyond the social feed on what you're doing with this content, and any content you test this against brand content, it's going to outperform. It really doesn't matter what channel we're talking about, it's going to outperform. And so we kept having these conversations with the brands, and we said, we need a way to visually demonstrate this in an interesting way, almost like an explainer video, but an interesting explainer video. And so we did a B2B influencer marketing campaign earlier this year where we worked with a bunch of big social experts on LinkedIn, and we sent them fake product. We sent them a fake CMOS product. And we put packaging on it with Linkia branding and all this funny stuff on it. We said, hey, could you just film like a spoof influencer video? 30, 60 seconds, whatever you feel like, send it back to us. Don't post it, just send it back to us. So we had a bunch of these people. I think we had 8 people do this. And then we took the 8 pieces of content, stitched them together into a hero asset, and then made a TV commercial, a billboard ad, a train station ad, a display ad, a PDP page ad, and we sent that back to them. And so their commentary as the creator influencer in this program was that they had no idea they didn't know who these other 7 people were. They didn't know their content was going to become this bigger thing. And so then we have a final cut of all of the different placements coming together. And that has helped make brands understand what we're talking about when we say one campaign, one influencer campaign can power an entire marketing engine.
Yeah. I mean, that's so amazing to see that, isn't it? I mean, as a podcast host, I often talk about sort of 16 to 17 repurposing options with that.
Totally.
I think you're talking about it even bigger when you add those other things. So I think, are we still in the educational phase of this, or do you think there are some?
Yeah.
Do you think there are also some of those other advertising media that are also concerned about we're protecting our channel?
Yeah, well, I think they were concerned about that with the rise of influencers in the last 3 to 5 years, right? 6, 7 years ago, the advertising agencies were like, what is this little dinky test and learn tactic? It's very manual. The budgets aren't high. The margins aren't great. Like, I don't want to deal with this. All these influencer agencies, let them deal with it. Now all the behemoths want to do influencer and it's all they talk about. So I think, yes, we're in that almost early phase of this next conversation, which is the creator content everywhere conversation. Some brands are doing it. Not many are doing it very well or ubiquitously. And that's also because, again, the person who buys influencer marketing is not the person who buys all those media channels. So now you also need cross-department conversations. You need complete content editing solutions. I mean, I have an entire post-production team that sits in my office that all they do is create creator ads out of creator content for brands. So it takes a practice, it takes education with a client, but it really just takes one test at a client for them to just A/B. Here's our brand asset. Here's our creator asset. We're putting them on television as a test. Wow. How is the variance so great? And that doesn't mean you don't need brand. I had a person in a creative agency ask me, are you saying we don't need brand creative assets anymore? No. But when you think about frequency of advertising, you might hit the person with the brand message first just to set the tone of what your brand stands for, because the creators aren't going to know what to do if you don't even have a brand tone yourself, which is your main creative. But then if I had a 7 frequency on media, I might hit them with 4 creator, 1 brand, another 2. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as just one or the other. It's both.
And I think with, for example, TV and billboard, it's largely all about, like mass awareness.
Totally.
There's a lot of wasted media there, isn't there? Whereas actually with a really sharp, defined influencer that has a super engaged audience, it's a very cost-effective way to get to the ideal customer profile, isn't it?
And post-production is a magical land. I think the misconception is that if I put a creator asset into a TV commercial, it's going to look too rough. Like, this is TV. This is a place of high octane and great visuals. And I would say go look at a commercial like what Applebee's did with Fancy like a few years ago, when the song took off on social with the country singer and they made a whole commercial just out of social media content. Or if you look at McDonald's, what they did with their new sauces, this was, I believe, beginning of this year, they left the actual likes and the comments, like the iconography on the screen, on the phone, on a TV commercial, because they wanted so desperately for everyone to know this is TikTok. This is real people who love our sauces. So I think this perception that influencer might not fit in a more premium production channel is total nonsense. And it just means you're not doing enough to the content to optimize it for that channel. You get the rights. You pay an influencer. You have the rights to that content if you're smart about how you structure contracts. You shouldn't just take it exactly as it is and throw it into other channels. In post-production, you need to make it relevant and native to the channel you're then going to place it in.
So do you think agencies should be pitching for the whole cake, not just the slice?
I think agencies should be presenting the highest value proposition to the client. This isn't about we need to do it or we're after the big media agency's budget. This is about, if you're going to invest in influencer, I'm here to make sure you do it with the most value to your brand. I don't care if the things I'm saying I do as Linkia, or you do internally, or you do through your media agency. I'm just telling you, we're spending all this time and money getting this content. You have a world of gold that's just waiting to be unplucked.
Absolutely.
I'll help you unpluck it however you need to unpluck it. But that's my job, to make sure the investment you made with influence and with Linkia is maximized to the fullest extent.
Love it. Great. That's a great story, Keith. Really, really exciting. And we haven't talked about that on any of our other videos. So that's great. I just want to leave you with a couple of trends that you think are going to impact in 2026 in the influencer marketing and creator economy. What do you think is going to shape? If we were sat here years down the line, what sort of things would we have seen?
I think episodic content is by far the biggest trend. I think every brand's trying to figure out what is their kind of episode series. And I would say it's not even, when I say episodic, a lot of people think episode 1, episode 2, there's an order and a story. That's not really what I mean. I almost mean a style and a cadence that is consistent instead of just trend chasing. I think we're going to see a big departure from trend chasing and a much bigger focus on 4, 5, 6, 7 different series that a brand is testing and trying and just seeing if things are hitting and what's working. So I think serialized content is going to be the biggest trend in my opinion. And then second to that would just be a much higher quality of production. I really think we're moving up the chain in terms of quality. And I don't mean staged, highly produced work. I just mean a deeper understanding of lighting and camera work and just higher quality in the output, even if it's just me talking in a casual setting in a room, just a higher quality to that. I think we went very lo-fi and very rapid cuts with the rise of TikTok over the past 5 years. And you even saw Jimmy this year, Donaldson, talking about, and he's the one who made that famous, how he wants to go to a little bit longer, a little bit richer, a little bit better quality content moving forward, because I think he sees everyone flocked here and the people who are going to win who are now going to zig when everyone else is zagging. So those are the three, I think, episodic or serialized, higher quality, and longer, richer storytelling.
Yeah, great, lovely. Thank you, Keith. That was awesome. I think we did wrap that up in super quick time as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.